everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are solving an issue that many Next.js developers face when using SWR in the app router. You try to import use SWR and boom, you get the error. Export default doesn't exist in target module. Why does this happen? In Next.js app router, all components are server-side by default, but SWR is client-side only. In this video, you'll learn why this error happens, the correct way to use SWR in app router, and how to use SWR config globally without making layout.tsx a client component. Let's get started. By default, all components in app router are React server components, but use SWR is a client-side hook, so it can't be used in server components. If you try this in your code, import use SWR from SWR, this won't work and this will throw the error. Export default doesn't exist in target module with the details. Export default was not found in the module, project, node modules, PNPM, if you're using PNPM, and then SWR package. Now what that means is you could only import the key serialization APIs from SWR in React server components. So for example, you can import unstable serialize from SWR, or you can import unstable serialize from SWR infinite, which are key serialization APIs from SWR, but they won't work on client side use SWR. So to fix this, what you need to do is, for example, here I'm using use SWR in my hook. I need to mark this as use client directive, and where I'm importing this usage customer in the page, I need to mark that page as a client-side component. Once I do that and I go back to the page, you see that error is gone and this is fixed. That's it. SWR works now. But what if you need SWR config in your layout or page? Problem is that you want to set up SWR config globally, but you don't want to make your layout.tsx a client component. For this, what you can do is go back to the code. Here you can create a separate provider component for SWR config like this. You need to mark this as client again. Import SWR config from SWR and then embed children inside this provider. Now what we are going to do is we are going to go to our layout.tsx file and then import this layout provider. After importing, we can embed the children that are coming to this layout as children of this layout provider. This can be reutilized when you are building themes, so you can set up theme provider and so on. Now you have a global SWR config without making layout.tsx a client component. Summary and final thoughts. SWR is client-side only. You need use client in your components. You can't use SWR in a server component. For global SWR config, use a separate provider component to avoid making layout.tsx a client component. Now you know how to use SWR correctly in Next.js app router. If this video helped, hit like and subscribe for more Next.js tips. Question for you: have you faced this issue before? Let me know in the comments. See you in the next video. Happy coding!